The last 2 days, we've seen many interesting talks, many interesting technologies, which really brings me back to a report that we had the privilege to contribute to in the World Economic Forum, knowing one thing, that we cannot do it alone. So we came together with world leaders in contracting, engineering, space, and with the World Economic Forum, and BCG was heavily involved to produce one of the reports that talks about future scenarios for construction. What would the construction look like in 2050? And from that, we deduced 3 extreme scenarios. These are extreme scenarios, and most likely the world will be a combination of all these scenarios. But the whole idea of having an extreme scenario is to study the implications on today and what technologies needs to evolve and how should we as an industry prepare ourselves. So the first scenario was building a virtual world, robotics, everything in that context fall into that extreme scenario. Another scenario would be prefabrication, modularization, pods. Last but definitely not least, a green reboot. We emit as a construction industry plus the asset that we build, which is the build industry, 40% of the world's CO2. So without an extreme scenario studying a green reboot and the implication on today, I think we shouldn't be only focusing on cost improvement and quality. We should align with ESG. So these 3 scenarios deduced a set of technologies that will disrupt our industry. And the 30 technologies that this report deduced categorized into 10 domains, from prefabrication to advanced building material to 3D printing to building big data analytics, predictive analytics, etc., augmented reality, name it. We came back after producing that report, so now we have a context to start from, and this was like 4 years back, and we started thinking, how can we do it? So we democratized the process by throwing surveys within the organization to get good ideas, and engineers, young engineers, would select one or more technology, will write their ideas, how they can implement that, where is the impact this technology can create, and then based on all the survey we did, we approved like 15 projects initially. For each project that would explore one of more technology, we established a committee with diversified subject matter experts to research that. In no time, we realized that we need to tap into the startups ecosystem, because many of these technologies are still evolving. And till today, many of these technologies are evolving. We cannot ignore all the innovation and go only to mature tech providers. So what we've done, we brought best of 2 worlds. We brought the domain expertise of a large organization like us, with domain embedded inside the committee, with a startup, and we pilot the project. So we bridge the gap between a startup, the lack of domain knowledge that the startup usually face, and the lack of technology innovation that the industry face, because we're too traditionalist to disrupt ourselves, and the startup is too technology oriented to understand the business. Bringing both worlds and sponsoring pilots, like we did the first 3D printed house in the region and the first livable in the world in Saudi Arabia in 2018. We did the off-grid cabin renewable energy. We did with many players here like Wake Up, IoT in Dubai, with Imensa 3D printing, etc., etc. So all that fell into that strategy. And last but not least, for the success story that we've done, we see strategic partnership with this technology provider and startup. And for the ones that proved an ROI, we changed our methodologies and construction workflows to embed it for day-to-day activity. For the sake of this presentation, I'm going to choose one example of AI and how we could use thermal camera and facial recognition to improve our operation during COVID. The challenge, like many large organizations, we want to bring everybody safe back home. Yet we want to live up to the responsibility and obligation we have towards our clients. So the balance was not easy. Where artificial intelligence would fall into that? Before going into the detail, it's funny to see that such a simple, mature technology is still not adopted in our industry. So if you walk inside, for those who came, you walk inside Dubai airport, you would have facial recognition on the passport control, if you're registered with European passport or you have an ID, and you will go seamlessly inside the country. Really, the innovation that Dubai airport or other airport did was not acquiring and purchasing a camera with facial recognition. Was the digital transformation and the integration they've done with the back-end system to change their workflows and their method completely. It's beyond the technology. So this is really the lack that one of the things that our industry face. So what we've done is that we brought this technology and we put certain KPIs. We wanted people to walk inside the office, inside the site or the camp, which is at least 4 times a day. They go exit in the morning, come back evening, walk inside the site, go outside site, seamlessly without even queuing, just within their walking speed. To reduce screening time, we wanted to check compliance with masks. We wanted every staff and labor to wear masks, to detect it automatically through the system, temperature screening, because this is one of the indication of COVID. We were doing that with very big queue before the technology, and then we target to have at least screening time reduced 90% and accuracy of compliance 99%, and of course reducing the manpower required. Having sustainability in our mind, so all the containers and the solution we customized for our site were built on container refurbished. So this is just 3 steps process. People get sanitized through the first container, then they pass through the second container with thermal camera, detect automatically the masks, the temperature, and other stress-related stuff, and report it. And for whenever there is any trigger, the person will go into different queue, so we do not obstruct the whole process. So this has been, although this looks really very simple, but changing the workflows and digitizing things going in was really a challenge for our industry. So this reminds us of how long journey we still have to go despite the evolution of technology we're living today. We store data for one purpose, we use it for another purpose. So the idea was only for health and safety. But when we integrated that with our back-end system and we used the facial recognition as additional benefit, we realized very soon that we can use it for headcount. We can use it for security. We can even support our timesheet with information coming from the system. So really it's limitless, such a simple technology to use it, although the plan was never to touch on these topics, it was purely health, but as I said, you store data for one purpose and use it for another. This brings me back to what I started with as the challenges within our industry. The construction industry norms productivity hasn't improved for the last 50 years, while it doubled in automotive. We're only ahead of agriculture in digital transformation. So is it the lack of evolution of tech? Is it the lack of maturity? One very important statement comes, the procurement model, the traditional procurement model, the change management. There's so many good reasons that were stated in the last few days. And there are definitely, we need to do work on each and every one. Nevertheless, if you ask me, I strongly believe the biggest challenge and showstopper of our industry is the stakeholders' mindset shift that is required. It's mindset shift that we should work on as an industry, be it a contractor, a consultant, an owner and developer, a policymaker, academia. We should have a mindset shift in the whole industry to be able to disrupt ourselves. Thank you.